Hi, everyone. So, this reading is for Sagittarius. It is Sagittarius season. Sagittarius season runs from November 22nd through December 21st. And I got a late jump on the Sagittarius reading, so this reading is not going to be for the 22nd of November through the 21st of December. It is actually going to be for the 1st of December through the 31st of December for Sagittarius, okay? Sorry about the late jump. I had a lot of stuff going on, but we will get into the reading here in a minute. Just a couple of reminders before we start. First off, take what fits your situation and leave the rest for somebody else when we're doing a collective reading for people. It can be for anyone about anything, and it applies to your life however it applies to your life. So, that being said, not everything in every reading is going to fit your situation. So, because it's being done on all Sagittarius people. So, if something doesn't fit, leave it for somebody else. The other thing you need to keep in mind is flip and switch the roles as you see fit. For example, if I am talking about, say, the Sagittarius being frustrated in a situation and it's actually not you, the Sagittarius, that's frustrated, it's your partner and they're expressing frustration with you over something you're doing, flip it and switch it how you see fit, okay? Because when we're reading what's here. We don't know your situation. So make sure that you are flipping it where it needs to be. Okay, just a reminder on how I do readings. These are the initial pull. So this is your situation here. Each set of three below is a clarifier to the card above. These down here will be outcome and or advice cards, okay? So, we'll start off right up here with the first one. I can never say that word, so I'll just call this the Priestess of Time. You got the Priestess of Time. And what the Priestess of Time talks about is a shift in consciousness being necessary. This is a call to move away from fighting, opposition, the either or mentality, a deliberate movement away from procrastination and excessive contemplation of yourself or an issue. The need for determination to become more through your actions, thinking, being, and sharing. A new standard of excellence for yourself and those that you surround yourself with, and that you should not wait to have this shift in consciousness. Okay, so your clarifiers, moving on down, your clarifiers are the Star, the Seven of Swords, and the Page of Wands here. Okay. So, what the star talks about is hope, inspiration, positivity, faith, renewal, healing, rejuvenation, optimistic about your love life, healing from past love wounds. If you're looking into this reading for career, that talks about positivity. Brings career rewards, high hopes about a job, and if you're watching this for financial, this card, the star, talks about reaching financial goals or remaining inspired. Seven of Swords, that talks about lies, trickery, scheming, strategy, resourcefulness, sneakiness, cunning, lies and deception, affair, sparing feelings or feeling suspicious. Some of those are keywords, some of those are for love. If you're looking for career, it's gossip, sabotage, jealousy at work, working strategically. And if you're looking for finance, shady business deals, fraud, theft, and scams. Um, Page of Wands was your last clarifier in that row. That talks about adventure, excitement, fresh ideas, cheerfulness, energetic, fearless, extroverted possibilities, and adventures in love. Lively lover, fleeting romance. Those Some of those are keywords. Some of those are specifically if you're looking for a love reading. Career is new position or project, taking risks at work, eagerness for a challenge, and financial is small financial gifts or temptations regarding spending. So, right off the bat, this row, it could be it's multifaceted. So, of course, there could be multiple things going on in your life that this could apply to. However, um, like I said, take what fits and leave the rest. Um, so, the shift in consciousness and moving away, as this first card talks about, away from a fighting or an opposition or an either or mentality. Um, you might have this type of personality where you're able to get mad real fast, sad real fast, happy real fast, and flip those emotions real fast. Um, so there seems to appear a little bit of that going on um, right off the bat, but you may also have a issue with procrastination or overthinking. Excessive contemplation to me always talks about overthinking. You are thinking things over way, way, way too much, and don't feel bad, Sagittarius. I do that too. I think most of us overthink, um, but you're doing it to a unhealthy level. This kind of seems so. You in being more through your actions, your thinking, your being, and your sharing, that is really a call for you to have this shift in your consciousness, as the card says, to maybe get to a point where you don't flip so fast in your emotions, or maybe you need to really show up and show out, instead of just saying like, hey, I'm this type of guy or I'm this type of gal. Let your actions be the mouthpiece instead of you saying who you are, right? You gotta, and this card is calling you to be more and do more, to set a new standard of excellence for yourself and those around you, and to not wait. So there has to be something going on. Whatever Sagittarius I'm talking to, you can see that your current circumstances, your current behaviors, your current situation is, maybe suffering a little bit from the inability to shift your consciousness where you don't flip your emotions so fast, okay? You really need to get to that point where you don't do that, and it'll give you a new outlook. And don't overthink either, though, because that was in here. Don't overthink. Just let it be what it is, kind of thing, okay? But you have to also hold yourself to a higher standard and those around you to a higher standard. That's what this card is calling for. And not to wait. So there must be something going on, where you are maybe getting more angry. Maybe things are pushing your buttons more. Maybe you're flipping emotions more quickly. And, you know, in conjunction with the star, the seven of swords, and the page of wands, it just kind of looks to me like, I mean, it's hard to say anything without, going down through the rest of the cards first to see how they all tie together. But just from this first row, it kind of looks like, mostly good, but you need a shift in consciousness. And then, with that seven of swords there, that you could have this either or fighting opposition mentality, um, because the seven of swords is there. There's lies and deception. There could be an affair going on. You may feel a certain way, but you're trying to spare another person's feelings. So, with this feeling suspicious and whatever of that seven of swords, it kind of seems to me like you have a reason to have that either or mentality, the fighting and opposition, but you're still being asked to move away from that because it's adding more fuel to the fire, okay? And as far as the rest of it goes, you might also have, well, with the first card asking you for a new standard of excellence for yourself and those, you might, with the page of wands, that might be in regards to your spending. That's kind of what I would guess here. Maybe you need to change things up a little bit. Then again, you might be feeling, for some of you, that could be the problem. You might have a spending problem, and You need to bring that to a higher level, understand debt to income ratio better, that kind of thing. And with the star here, you're healing from past wounds as well. So maybe there was past wounds involving a relationship or involving reckless spending, whatever, and you have to forgive somebody and move into a less fighting mentality over that, okay? I know that's a really long explanation and it doesn't give you a for sure anything, but unfortunately, that's what I can give you right now until we go through the rest of the cards, okay? Now, for your second card, a time to say goodbye, okay? And what that one talks about is reluctance to see an ending of something you feel entitled to or that you deserve, more time with a loved one, etc. You may feel as if you are being cheated out of whatever this thing is. Things must die, though, in order to be reborn. That's what this card talks about. And it will be reborn in another form at a later time. It's time to end something internally and externally. It could be a belief or relationship, a place, a friendship. It could also mean a possible actual passing of somebody. However, with the surrounding cards, I don't see that, and I don't want people to get too worked up. They hear that, and then, oh my goodness, they're worried right away. No, we just have to give you all the possibilities as readers, right? So, but I don't see an actual death here. So let's just take that off the table and go back and say, yeah, it could be a belief or relationship, a place, a friendship that you need to let go of. You need to have this ending with it. This is your chance to learn something new, profound, and deep and important. You will miss something good if you resist. Okay, that's what that card talks about. So, right off the bat, you absolutely have to let something end to have a new beginning with it. Looks like whatever it is that you are reluctant to see end, as it, much like the phoenix, as it burns to the ground, it is reborn from its ashes, right? So it looks like this, whatever this is that you're worried about, will come back, but you have to give it its time to die and be reborn again. Okay, you have to give it time to, basically it's like a reset, a reset. And whatever it is, it might come in looking different. It might come in looking happier, healthier, might come in looking just different in general. I don't know how else to tell you that, but especially if it's relating to a person. If a person disappears from your life for a while and then shows back up and they come in like the whole damn fire and they just, they're this whole new person and they burn everybody in their wake, and not in a bad way, but just like give them inspiration and motive and reasons to fight for life and things like that. Usually that person's gone through a transformation, and a very healthy one, even if you don't like what you're seeing, because they're pushing you to a new standard. It's still good. It's still good. Whatever makes you uncomfortable is helping you grow, right? Right. So we're going to move on to your clarifiers here, though, and see if we can't get a bigger picture. Your first one was the Hermit. Your second one was the Seven of Wands. And your third was the Six of Pentacles. Okay? So, the Hermit, that talks about self-reflection, introspection, contemplation, withdrawal, solitude, search for self, pause in love life for introspection, self-understanding in love, contemplating next steps in career, searching for purpose in career, contemplating roles in finances and happiness, less focus on material things. Okay. Seven of Wands, that talks about protectiveness, standing up for yourself, defending yourself, protecting territory, setting boundaries in a relationship, fighting for romance, fighting off competition, defending your position, facing challenges, protecting your financial stability or long term success. The Six of Pentacles, that talks about generosity, charity, community, material help, support, sharing, giving and receiving, gratitude, supportive relationship, generous love, mentor, being a valued employee, investors, financial support, or donations. Okay, so again, here with moving back up to the first row and mixing the first and second row together here. Um, there seems to be a little bit, there might be some spending habits that need work. I can see that as the two lines come together. You might take out loans from friends or loved ones, something like that, where you, you kind of use that loan process or borrow money from friends or relatives or family, whatever your case, on a regular basis to support your spending. Probably should take a look at that. Okay, um, yeah, that I can see here. There's also, with a lot of financial support, talks about financial stability and less focus on material things, as far as the finances go. Um, so finances might be on your mind a lot during this Christmas season. Maybe it's hard for you, Sagittarius, to stick to a budget for Christmas shopping and then you end up taking out a loan to cover your regular bills or something like that, right? Could be anything really, but uh, make sure that you are watching your finances very carefully, and also make sure that you know that the material things that you purchase are never ever going to make you happy. Okay, they're not. And you know having a focus on material things but then relying on financial support or donations or loans from somebody else to get by. um, we all have to do that from time to time. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it kind of appears to me as a repetitive cycle in this reading as far as the finances go. Excuse me. So, yeah, that might be a thing that you need to work on is your financial management, okay? As far as tying the others together, or these two rows together for the other aspects of things, as a person to person relationship, kind of looks like though you are in love with somebody or you do have love for somebody, whether it be a family member, a friend, or an actual love partner, you need to step back and look at yourself, take some time for yourself and your own self reflection, and um, like do an inventory of yourself, because there's uh, immediately after the Hermit shows up the Seven of Wands, which again, that talks about defending yourself, protecting your territory, setting boundaries in relationships, um, you know, defending your position, and so on and so forth. So it kind of seems like maybe you might be with a partner that you aren't exactly, you love them very much, and when you're with them, sometimes it's rejuvenation and joy and healing, and sometimes it's just lies and deception and scheming and feeling suspicious. It kind of goes back and forth, and the the Seven of Wands is here saying that you need to look at the Hermit is here to tell you to look at your own self, but then the Seven of Wands here is standing up for yourself. So you might have some people pleasing tendencies, and then you get upset, you know, when you actually do the people pleasing, right? And then you're feeling lost and kind of taken advantage of, or whatever the case may be. So you need to learn set up boundaries in your relationships. You also need to learn what matters, because the Seven of Wands also talks about fighting for romance. So some self changes might be necessary to make a relationship work for the better, okay? Work for its highest good. And if you're not willing to take a look at yourself and that you might be the problem in your own relationship, then, there's going to be a hard go of the relationship, okay? So those are a couple scenarios that I can pick up on the first two rows, okay? Moving on to third row, the Frog Princess is your card here. And that talks about it is not time to do as you see fit or what your heart and mind tell you. It is time to listen to an authority, to what an authority has to say. Sorry. Mm, I apologize. Um, these people will, or there will be people that will try to persuade you that you do know best, however you do not. This card says that there is wise counsel on the matter within your reach. It is worth staying quiet, listening to what is stated by others, then talking it through with a trusted advisor. You are missing points that matter in a situation and you do not see it clearly. The more you listen, the healthier and truer your actions will be. It does not matter what you think you know. You don't know all of the details. Listen to wise counsel. That was this card, okay? So, yeah, right off the bat with that one, you might have a friend or a family member, or maybe it's a pastor, somebody you can go and talk to, a counselor, um, where you're going to need to stay quiet and listen. There is something in your sphere that you think you know all the details, you think you know exactly what's up, and you don't know what's up, unfortunately. And so you're missing important keys that may actually flip your way of thinking. And again, that's up here too in your second row. Like, you need to have a um, self reflection, introspection, contemplation. It also talked about it in the first row here with this card. You need a shift in consciousness. So you absolutely are missing out on something good because you think you know what's up and you don't know what's up. Okay, that's pretty much what this card is saying. You need to go to somebody who is a trusted friend, an advisor, family member, friend, whoever your closest bro or sis is, or family member, doesn't matter, lover, I don't care. Just go to the person that can advise you, and make sure it's somebody who is, oh, what is that word? Impartial to this, to whatever the situation is. Don't go, like, if you're having a problem with a certain specific situation, don't go to somebody who is actually involved in that. Go to somebody else who's not, and get their opinion, okay? But moving on to, so we can make more sense of all of this together, let's go to the clarifiers. Your first one was the Magician. Your second one was the Empress. And your third was the Two of Wands, okay? So, the Magician, that talks about willpower, desire, being resourceful, skill, ability, concentration, manifestation, creating opportunities for love, being proactive in love, harnessing, in love, sorry, comma, harnessing career opportunities, determination and drive, pursuing financial opportunity, and making use of skills. The Empress talks about a divine feminine, sensuality, fertility, nurturing, creativity, beauty, abundance, nature, nurturing, supportive lover, sensual, committed relationship. For career, it talks about nurturing colleagues, freshening up the office, or creative period at work. For finances, it talks about material comfort, giving, sharing material wealth, and generosity. And then your Two of Wands, that talks about planning, first steps, making decisions, leaving comfort, taking risks, setting romantic goals. Oh, sorry. For romance, it's setting romantic goals, making plans in love, planning a future together. For career, it talks about planning your career, taking first steps in your career, envisioning dreams. And for finances, it talks about planning your long term financial future and laying foundations. Okay, um, so at the core of this situation, yeah, okay. So at the core of this situation here, starting with this card and mixing in with everything else, you definitely need to um, stop doing whatever it is that you see fit. You need to take some time to talk to people who can give you better advice, okay? Um, and that is with all of the information that we've had so far from the first two rows. It seems like you need to probably take a look at yourself, do some internal work, like I said before, an inventory of self. You also need to make sure that you're not talking. This is a phrase that I love so much, and it's God gave you two ears and one mouth for a reason. So you need to listen more than you're talking right now. This card specifically, the Frog Princess, that says it is worth staying quiet, listening to what is stated by others, then talking through it with a trusted advisor. So this card is really asking you to be quiet too and listen, because whatever you think you know, you don't know. Um, and that could relate up here too to the other cards. Reluctance to see something ending with a time to say goodbye. Well, maybe you don't know all the details on the ending, or maybe you feel as if you're being cheated out of something again with that time to say goodbye card. Well, maybe you're not being cheated out of anything. And a different perspective, different change in consciousness with the Priestess of Time. It looks like that's your biggest setback here is your own self. You need a different way of thinking. Um, so once you counsel though with somebody who's wiser, who's somebody who's going to listen and be there for you, be a true friend, and give you not what you want to hear or what sounds good. They're going to give you the real without it's no sugar coated bullshit. Once you talk to somebody like that who's going to give you the goods and bads and uglies about you and your personality and the things that are going on in your life, and the advice that you ask them for, you probably will feel a lot better. Okay, so you need a true person to be there for you right now, and bounce that off of. You need to stay quiet and listen to them. Okay. As far as the clarifier cards, it looks like you know, um, basically you're making use of, your skills to gain your finances. You're being resourceful and stuff like that. You may even be being resourceful in finding somebody wise to talk this stuff out with, right? As far as the Empress being here, that can sometimes be a sign of pregnancy or recent birth too, with the fertility, nurturing, and abundance. Um, I mean, excuse me, your lover could absolutely be supportive if you have one, and you could be in a committed relationship, but you could also either be expecting a baby, or you could have just had a baby in your household, whether it's with your partner or not. Um, there seems to be some fertility going on, fertility and abundance. So if it's not, okay, if this is not your message as far as a pregnancy, recent birth, etc., so on, um, then it's abundance and fertility and creativity, okay? So, um, there could be abundance in friends coming over. There could be an abundance in gifts or foods or whatever, something that's more of a nurturing item. Maybe somebody dropped off a gift basket of an abundance of like personal care needs, right? It could be an abundance of that too. Um, but just saying, there is there's a lot going on here. For some of you, it could be a pregnancy. For others of you, it could be a recent birth. And then again, for others of you, it could just be that you have a very nurturing and loving partner, probably feminine, which leads me to believe that I'm reading towards a masculine. I'm picking up on a masculine energy. So, and then with that Two of Wands there, of course, planning, making decisions, leaving comfort, all of that with that card. That could be anything from, you know, you have to change locations because there's not enough room. If there is a new baby, um, that could be that. For others of you, it could just be planning a future because you and your partner are in this fertile, creative place right now. So you're planning more and more of a future. Um, you could be laying foundations because of financial foundations and planning steps because maybe there is a child coming into the home. I'm quite unsure with this at the moment, but we're going to keep going down and then I'll give you my final impression over the whole thing. So, your next card is Strange Companions in Stranger Places. And what that talks about is you have great power within you. You're going through great changes, and it seems like you have no power. You must adjust within yourself and your circumstances so that you have the ability to shine. There will be unfamiliar people and places that come along during this month, and things along the way as well, strange things maybe, um, as well as all new emotions, some emotions that you're not used to feeling, I guess. Strange feelings may come up during this time, things that you're not really used to feeling. There may be danger or change. Obviously, there's a whole lot of change being suggested in this reading. Um, there will be great rewards as well if you are willing to make the changes necessary to be your best self. Okay, so strange companions and strange places ties with this, and this. All it. I couldn't get more of a clear reading if I tried. Um, it's saying that you have to make some changes both inside yourself and to the exterior, your life, right? So maybe it's the people you're hanging around, maybe it's the things that you're doing, maybe it's the place that you live, maybe it's your career, maybe it's whatever, but especially internally, there's stuff you need to work on inside of yourself. This has come up in literally all four of your main cards. So you've got to work on yourself. There's something inside of you that is holding you back internally. There's something in your external environment as well, whether it be people, places, or things, or habits, or addictions, or whatever fits your situation. There is something absolutely that needs both be changed internally and externally. Okay, you've got some work to do on self and your situation. Okay, that's the one thing I can confirm for Sagittarius in this reading. Sorry about that. Taking a vape break. The key in this though, the key in all of these cards is get out of your own way, listen to wise counsel, but you need to do what you need to do in order to be your best self. That is consistent here. Okay, so you're not at your full potential, and the universe is asking you to get to a higher potential. Even if it's not your full potential, they want you to get to a higher potential. Okay. Now your clarifiers here. The first one is the King of Swords. Your next one is the Eight of Cups. And your final is the Eight of Swords. Okay. And King of Swords, that talks about reason, authority, discipline, integrity, morality, being serious, high standards, strict, high standards for love, controlled emotions. At work, stern but righteous mentor, challenge to do your best at work. For financial, it's being disciplined with finances and acting logically. Again, that's here too. So the main two things that are popping up consistently in this reading is change internally and externally for your better self, and financial responsibility. Taking a look at your finances and acting appropriately with them, being disciplined with them. Okay, so those are the two main things for sure. Then the Eight of Cups, abandonment, walking away, letting go, searching for truth, leaving behind, leaving unhappy relationship, abandonment issues. For career, it talks about leaving an unfulfilling job, taking vacation, escapism. And then for finances, it talks about choosing happiness over financial security. Okay. So then your Eight of Swords, that talks about being trapped, restricted, victimized, paralyzed, helpless, powerless, imprisonment, feeling trapped, suffocated, smothered, passive in love life. If for career, it talks about dependence on job, can't change careers, fear of job changes. And then for financial, it's anxiety about money, can't see financial opportunity. Okay, so there's definitely change needed, 100%. Again, that's here all over the place. But it looks like so from from the beginning of the month, and this is where I want to be so careful and kind in the way that I word this. I have okay, how do I say this? I'm just going to be honest and outright with anybody watching. I myself take mental health medication for anxiety. Okay, I am on an anxiety medication because I have severe anxiety. I am also on medication for ADHD. You can ask my husband. I bounce all over the place and ramble a mile a minute if I don't have my ADHD pill. Okay. And so I am a big proponent of mental health care. And what it looks like to me is I am not hating anybody. I am not downing on anybody. I am saying this with the most love and grace that I possibly can. It might be time to get your butt to a mental health care practitioner, because you flip again, as the cards pulled, fighting opposition, either or mentality up top, right, with the priestess of time. Then the inability to let go of something here. So, plus, protectiveness and withdrawal and solitude and all of these things in this row. Then you move on to it's not time to do as you see fit and you need to talk to an advisor. And then it goes down to you having a great power within you and you're going through some changes. There needs to be some changes. There's rewards waiting for you if you're willing to make the changes, right? But your love sector goes from tons of love and happiness, and then it goes to defending yourself. Well, okay, so your first card, let me rephrase this. There's lots of love, happiness, optimistic about love life at the beginning of December because we're starting over here, right? And then, you think there might be some sneakiness or lies and deception or affair or feeling suspicious. And then it's back to happiness. And then it's back to, maybe there's some um, fertility and nurturing, and that's all great. And then it goes back to abandonment and walking away and letting go. And um, so if this is involving a love reading, I'm just going to be out there. Your mental health probably needs a check in order for this love relationship to last, okay? I these cards out here are all pointing to some self-work, which is beautiful, right? We all need to do self-work. If somebody says that they're fine and they never do anything wrong and they are just, this great person and everything's always somebody else's fault, um, then they're not being real, because we're all little shits. At some point in time, we're all shitty to somebody else. Um, so you need to take a look at yourself, work on yourself. You're swinging back and forth between love and happiness and contentment and not content. And it seems like there's a chemical imbalance involved, maybe, for some of you. If that is not your case and you don't feel that you need mental health care, you could be letting go of the need to have this control, right? The thing that you could be letting go of with that Eight of Cups there is not necessarily the relationship, even though that's what the card points to, like you telling somebody that you don't want to be with them anymore. And you're feeling really victimized here at the end of the month and helpless and powerless and trapped and all that stuff. You could be letting go of just those internal feelings too. You could be letting go of feeling trapped and restricted. For others of you, again, it could be simply that you are the type of person that you get really happy when you first get in a relationship. You love it. Love having somebody around, and then as soon as somebody's around for a little while, then you feel trapped and you got to get out of it right away. Um, so yeah, there are some, honestly, Sagittarius, there's few red flags in this, and then, again, that's not for everybody. But my advice, with the most love and grace that I can possibly give, is go get some mental health care somewhere and see if you don't need a medication to help balance. That's for very specific Sagittarius. That's not for everybody. That's the person that I'm picking up on, that's going back and forth and back and forth. Like I said, I'm picking up on several different options, several different ways this story could go for different people. But I really do feel like this overwhelming just heaviness on the heart, and then elated, and then not. And to me, reading these cards out and the emotions that go with them, it's just somebody, one of my Sagittarius is out there. You definitely do need some balance. It kind of looks like maybe either an inability to regulate emotions, or like bipolar or something. I'm not exactly sure. But anyways, let's move along to the last one, and I'll give you my uh, final assessment of the cards after that. Okay. So the fairy ring, that is your last card out. And then I'll just show you your clarifiers right away so I can keep going down the line. The Knight of Cups, the Four of Wands, sorry, and the Lovers. I'm going to hit pause for just a second, but it won't do anything to your guys' video. It'll just pause and I'll jump right back in. Okay, so jumping back in, the fairy ring that talks about learning a new skill, advancing your talents, sharpening your actions and senses. Follow discipline and structure. It is important right now. You could need to take a course to brush up on your skills or recertification training of some sort. There may be an important test to your skill, whether practical or or emotion based. This could bring you joy to learn more skills. This could be specific to holistic practices, sensitivity and alertness, finances, or savings. The more flexible you become, the greater life becomes. Train, work hard, and hold your head high. That is what the fairy ring talks about. Now, the Knight of Cups, that speaks to keywords: idealistic, charming, artistic, graceful, tactful, diplomatic, mediator, negotiator, romance, attraction, flirtation, being in love with love, unrealistic expectations of love. For career, it talks about diplomacy at work, tactfulness creates better team cohesion, creative solutions. And for finances, it talks about mediating disputes about finances using creativity to achieve financial goals. The Four of Wands talks about community, homes, celebrations, reunions, parties, gatherings, stability, belonging, weddings, engagements, gatherings, and public celebrations of love. Feeling supported by colleagues, office parties, bonding with colleagues. And for finances, it talks about financially supporting loved ones, financial stability and comfort. The last card, the Lovers, that talks about love, unions, partnerships, relationships, choices, romance, balance, unity, balanced, loving, supportive relationships, choices about love. And career, it talks about business partnership, romance at work, choices about career. In finances, it talks about mutually exclusive financial choices. So, that being tied together, yeah, you might need to take some education on your job, whatever that may be. Maybe you need to re up your CNA license, or maybe you need to take some continuing education credits, or maybe the driving laws have changed and you drive you do deliveries for work or something like that, and you need to re up. But it also speaks to the fact that there may be an important test to your skills, whether practical or emotion based. So the test, if emotion based, could be that you need to learn to balance your emotions. You need to be able to react in a more calm or graceful manner, because the Knight of Cups coming immediately right after it talks about graceful, tactful, diplomatic, mediator, negotiator. So either you're going to have contact with somebody like that, because the strange companions in stranger places. That one did talk to you about, or maybe it wasn't that one. Maybe it was the Frog Princess that talked about, finding an advisor to talk to, right? So if that's not you, um, you could be taking advice, from somebody who is a mediator, who's tactful, graceful, and diplomatic. However, it kind of looks to me like those are the skills that you need to brush up on here, Sagittarius, in the month of December, okay? And your finances, those two, that's been a running theme. Uh, Figuring out how to figure out disputes with finances, trying to figure out a better way to spend finances, figuring out financial stability and comfort, those kinds of things. So those are the two main things that come out of this reading. Um, and basically, if I'm going to sum up what I see here in front of me with the cards tying together, basically you probably should see a mental health professional to help you get your stuff balanced, whether it be counseling or medications, either one. And the second thing is financial stability and finances. You need to take more responsibility for self as far as your finances. Maybe even take a class on that, because this last card was talking about, you know, let's see here, holistic practices, sensitivity and alertness, which goes into emotions, and financial or savings are the other classes that you could possibly be taking. So yeah, you might need to take a debt class or something. Um, and as far as your romance, for some of you, there are children involved, whether it be your own children, somebody else's children. There's children involved in this situation. There may very well be a new baby around, or a pregnancy. So that's for some of you. Some of you, it's the financial aspect of things. Some of you, it's the emotional. Some of you, it's all of it. And then the other thing is you are pretty sure about a situation, and you need to be quiet and listen to that trusted advisor. Okay, that's coming up too. So kind of just, that is more or less your reading. My final analysis of it is just go ahead, and you're obviously a great person who's meant to shine. You've got a lot holding you back right now. So for some of you, take care of your finances. For some of you, take care of your emotions with mental health. Some of you need to realize that you might be the one holding you back in your own love relationships. I see a lot of flip floppy, bipolar tendencies, and either I'm reading on two people in this reading, or it's somebody with more of like a back and forth personality, happy then sad, and angry then, excited, and you're jumping all over the place emotionally. So again, mental health care is needed, but also you could be the source of your own demise in some of your relationships and your finances and things like that this month, okay? So let's move it along, Sagittarius, because I'm already at 52 minutes. Your first card for finality outcome suggestions is the Trust Yourself card from the Sacred Rebel deck. And what that one talks about is, I'm going to just make my little screen. I have digital books for these cards, a lot of them. So I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger because I'm getting older and harder to read small. Okay, the Trust Yourself card that says, you are wise. You know how to grow even without knowing how you know. Like the ancient forests, spectacular galaxies, and the acorn that becomes the oak, there is a natural intelligence for growth that is beyond logic and reason. It just happens. At the deepest levels, we are governed by this force that is so palpable, it literally shapes the world. At the same time, it is so invisible that sometimes we forget its presence and worry that our minds have to work everything out for life to happen and for us to be all right. We can become unnecessarily anxious about our affairs and how life will unfold. This oracle brings the message that you are growing. You really are. Don't doubt it, even if you don't see it yet. Remember that so much is happening when the seed is still unbroken in the ground. Below the earth, it is summoning up all the might, power, and force it needs to push above the topsoil and burst up into the light. It is essential for anything good to happen later on. Yet, we don't see any of that. We just have to trust that things will happen when the time is right. You are also being asked to trust yourself. You know how to grow. Don't overthink things. It won't help you. Don't worry so much. You are doing a great job in this game of life. When you trust yourself, you relax and you can heed your own wisdom, insight, and messages much more clearly and easily. This oracle comes with particular guidance. You have Sorry about the long pause, guys. a big destiny in this lifetime and much to experience. Sometimes you make the error of judging something that is unpleasant as negative or a mistake. It isn't. It's just a part of your great hunger for experience. It doesn't mean you have to have a lot of it, but when you do, don't shame yourself for it. Simply let it be. Maybe it's just fertilizer for your next step on the path. It's all part of your life process, and it's all a sign of growth. This oracle is also telling you not to resist any points of instability in your life. This even applies to your most treasured relationships or creative projects. That instability is just a growing pain because more consciousness, more love, and more light wants to infiltrate and pervade all parts of your life. The instability is not a sign of sickness, but of growth. So don't fret. Instead, choose to flow and grow. Healing process. Close your eyes and relax for a moment. Breathe in and out. Let your awareness drift away from worries and day to day matters and settle instead on the feeling of warmth inside your body. Then slowly imagine, sense, feel, or perceive that you have an acorn in your hand. You are standing in nature as sunrise breaks, flooding the horizon with color and light. As you hold the acorn up to the light of the rising sun, something magical happens. Out of the acorn, a hologram shines forth. It is a blueprint of this entire being that is yet to be. You see an acorn in that hologram, but you can also see a marvelous oak tree. You see the wildlife that will support and be supported by that tree, the ecosystem of which it is a part. You see yourself holding the acorn up to the rising sun. You see seasons uh, demarcated as rings of time within the trunk of the tree. You see the passing lives of many people that enjoy the oak tree through its long life. Place the acorn down on the ground as the sun continues to rise. Imagine, if you will, kneeling and touching your forehead lightly to the earth in reverence for the genius of growth. That same genius lives within you. In your own time, open your eyes and go about your life having completed your healing process. Yeah, so again, it's asking you to heal, come up, be more, do more, see more. It's asking you to really, really advance yourself, okay? Take a look, work on your internal self. What a beautiful card. And it's talking about trusting yourself too. Knowing that you are a wonderful being from creation. Like, you were created to be here for a purpose. Having that trust in yourself and allowing yourself to grow and realizing that any kind of pain that you are feeling is just because you are growing, um, especially when it comes to relations between people. That is the most beautiful gift you can ever give yourself. Okay? Let's move on to your crystal card from the Sacred Feminine Awakening Oracle deck. And this is Flower Blossom Agate. Flower Blossom Agate. And just to let you know, a flower blossom agate is an actual crystal that you can carry around to help improve your mentality throughout the day. But this is your crystal card for the period of December 1st through December 31st. So, flower blossom agate, that speaks to transitions, grace, and acceptance. The divine feminine energies infused in the flower blossom agate crystal embody the grace and transitions of the triple goddess from maiden to mother to crone. In nature, it is common to admire the beauty of blooms while disregarding withered petals, just as it is easy to celebrate youth and beauty while disregarding aging and death. The flower blossom agate, with its divine feminine powers, reminds us to embrace these transitions of femininity with grace and to find the power in them. The maiden symbolizes innocence, playfulness, delicacy, and creativity, characterized by full receptivity to life and other people. The mother embodies fertility, abundance, and love, representing the vessel of life, the earth, and sacred waters. The crone represents wisdom, rich in experience, and intimately knowing the mysteries of life with strong intuition and a subtle understanding. Invite the triple goddess energies of the flower blossom agate to ease transitions and help you find the beauty and power of all phases of the feminine experience on this earthly plane. Influences: flowers, earth element, heart chakra, transitions, birth, life, death, rebirth. Triple goddess. The invocation: I invoke the divine feminine powers of the flower blossom agate to guide me in finding grace in transitions. May I be able to recognize the appropriate moments to call upon the innocence and openness of the maiden, the nurturing creativity of the mother, and the wise discernment of the crone. Activation ritual. Picture an old wise cherry tree in full bloom. Imagine yourself as you are right now, holding hands with various phases of yourself, maiden, mother, and crone, forming a circle around the blossoming tree. Call in a scene of dancing laughter, play, sharing of wisdom, and deep love shining towards each expression of your changing nature. Like a picture, capture a feeling of this, knowing that the divine energies of flower blossom agate are always here to help you through transitions with ease, grace, and wisdom. Poem to flower blossom agate. The triple goddess, flower blossom agate, grace in transition, maiden to crone's fate. Maiden, life and tenderness to give, receptive innocence, creation to live. Mother, love, fertility, and flow, nurtures life's, earth's, and waters grow. Crone, grace, wisdom, and intuition, empathy refined with precision. Invoke triple goddess, peace in change, true feminine grace in all its phases. Now, what a beautiful card too, because like these here, several of them asked for change and transition, right, to become a better version of yourself. So I can't make this up. It just fell right out. The flower blossom agate is all about transition, and that is what you're being called to do this month, Sagittarius. Now, your final card of the reading is from the Spirit of Animals deck, Oracle deck, and you got the links. Links, it says, Keeper of Secrets. Take time out from the world and be the observer. Nothing can deceive you when you trust your knowing. You see others' secrets and keep them sacred. In silence and solitude, you will find your strength. And this one is a digital book, so I'm going to just make that a little bigger so I can read you this. So the links that talks about invisibility, secretive, observer, listener, awareness, clairvoyance, patience, loner, ancient wisdom, and shaman's totem. Lynx are solitary animals that live in the mountains or in the harsh climate of the cold north. They spend much of their life alone, out of sight and in the shadows. Lynx is the ultimate introvert. The trait is sometimes misinterpreted as aloofness, shyness, or arrogance, but this is not the case. Lynx people are observers and listeners and prefer the independent life. Those who walk with the lynx will have the uncanny ability to see what others cannot. This includes others' agendas, fears, hopes, and plans. Lynx have long tufts of fur rising from the tips of their ears that act as antennae so lynx can hear the unspoken word. If lynx is your totem, you will be difficult to deceive because you are telepathic. You naturally live the life of a mystic. You cannot fulfill your role as a spirit messenger if your mind is cluttered with the noise of a too busy life. Alone time is essential, and secrecy is your medicine. Patience and silence are your friends. As a lynx person, you will find contentment and happiness in reflection and contemplation. Spirit is always by your side. Contrary. Are you irritated because you have not had enough alone time? Do you tell secrets that you should not? Keep the cat in the bag. Cat got your tongue? That's okay. Remember, silence is your friend. Regain balance in solitude. So you're being asked to take a time, and this one too was saying take some time, step back, take some time for just yourself. Make sure that you are having some time to contemplate, because these big changes that you're being asked to make changes to yourself, and that's always the hardest thing. We kind of get set in our ways, especially if you're a little older. Like I look at about up to age 35, like we're kind of flexible yet, but then around that 35 years old, we really set into our habits, we really set into who we're going to be, we really set into just our personality, and it's hard to move us. And I am I can say honestly that I became way more stubborn, way more way less people pleasy, way more about making sure me and my home are good first, as I got older. Really set in this last year, and the year before that it really started to pick up. So if you're over the age of say 35 and you're kind of cemented into your personality, this changing of yourself is going to be hard, but it's exactly what you need to be able to live your happy life, because you got good things coming. It's just you can't get them without the work. So that is your reading today, Sagittarius. I hope you guys have a happy, happy birthday. Happy birthday to all Sagittarius out there. Special shout out to one special little Sagittarius, my niece Ray, who turned 12 on 30th of November. So, all right. I hope you guys have a great Christmas and a great New Year's. I'm not sure that you will see me before New Year's. You may not. I may do a collective everybody reading for the New Year's Eve celebrations. But if I don't, I will see you after the new year. Also, plug on the other stuff Gunner and I have going. So we have more resin projects coming out. We have gotten new molds. We will be sharing pictures on Facebook, on Snapchat, to show you guys the new products that we are making with the new molds for resin. Also, we will be having fresh nail sets coming out in January as well. So we have new resin projects, plus you can get any of our stuff custom made. You just have to contact us, okay? If you need a business card, we'll get you one of those. Contact us for business information via our Facebooks, Snapchat, text message, whatever, however you know how to reach us. Just go ahead and reach us if you want something custom made. Nails are custom by request as well. We do two lengths, long and short. So we do not have a medium set right now. We just have longs and shorts. Okay. But those are custom, and they range anywhere from $10 to $50 depending on what you want. If you want like real gold leaf and gems and things attached to them, it's going to be more expensive. And if you are okay with fake gems or, basic gold paint, then it's going to be closer to 10 to 15. Okay. And then let's see, there was one other announcement. This is why my husband writes everything down for me, because otherwise I forget like everything. What was the other thing he mentioned? Oh, so to our pagan Wiccan friends, we are going to be adding something else, and we're not going to talk about it too much until all the materials arrive. With the holiday shipping already in full force, we have had a hard time getting some of our supplies in a timely fashion, so I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. I'd rather underpromise and overdeliver. So Uh, we got something coming for you guys, the Pagan Wiccan friends, or those who are into um, herb herb treatments. Like if you like lavender to help you sleep, or you like chamomile to chill you out, or whatever the case may be, right? We have something related to herbs and crystals coming out hopefully by mid January if everything arrives like we want it to. Obviously, patience is key, though, so we're trying to be patient, and we haven't been able to start on it yet, but we do have most of the supplies here. We're waiting on a couple last minute things. So, if you're interested in any of those products, please let us know. You can reach me via my cell phone number, Snapchat, and Facebook. You can reach Gunnar via his Facebook and text messaging. You can reach me by text messaging, or you can reach us by our business email. If you need our business email, reach out to us on our Facebooks. Okay. All right, Sagittarius, happy birthday again. I hope you guys have a great Christmas, great New Year's, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.